Yes, hello, welcome to 2026, the year of the great meme reset, which means gone are the days of 6-7, and it's the year of the return of Ugandan Knuckles. Anyway, in this video, I'll finally be reviewing the new printer I got, the Creality Hi, which I bought bundled with Creality's multi-material unit, the CFS. And why a review? I don't know, I'm bored. Also to mention, this is not an in-depth review, I'm just pointing out some main things that I thought might be interesting or important. If you want like a classic review with specs and stuff like that, this is not the place. You can just go online and search those. I'm not holding your hands, go watch those if you want. So I've been aching for a multi-material printer for like last year or two, and I had quite a trouble deciding whether I should buy one or not, due to stuff like material costs and time printing those multicolor prints. And then Black Friday came around and a lot of those printers went on sale. I have finally come to the conclusion that I should get one anyway, regardless of if I'll be printing multicolor or not, because a lot of these printers have some quality of life features that my at the time current printer, the Ender 3 V3 SC, didn't have. Some of my options were the Bambu Lab A1 and A1 Mini, the Anycubic Cobra 3 V2, Snapmaker U1, Flashforge 85X, and finally the Creality Hi. Pretty much all of them except the A1 Mini and the U1 would cost me around 350 euros. I decided not to go for Bambula because I feel like they're the Apple of free printers and I don't like Apple. The Anycubic and the Flashforge printers I've seen some quite disappointing reviews, or I just don't trust them or something, I don't know. And for the Snapmaker U1, although it looked a lot more efficient of the bunch, I would have to wait a few months just to get it, and also it cost more than double the other printers at the time. I figured I could buy so many filament rolls just to break even with the price of the printer. So out of all of them, I decided to go with Creality Hi. I was already familiar with the ecosystem, and I also managed to catch some discounts with coupons and gift cards. And my final checkout was around 316 euros. I had to wait for a week for it to arrive, and then we're gold, right? Well, yeah, it did arrive in a week, and no problems there, but here's where things take a turn. The unboxing experience was great. Everything comes together so nicely, and it's easy to follow. Oh my god, where are the cables? Somehow, Creality forgot to put in the two cables that connect the CFS to my printer. You know, the main reason that I bought the printer in the first place. So I had a few back and forth conversations with the customer support, which is a pain, by the way. It took a total of 2.5 weeks just to get the cables, half of which it just took to get responses from them. I got so annoyed and I even got to order some cables from Temu out of all places. Thankfully, the very next day they replied and I canceled the order in time. And then finally, when the cables arrived, I could use the CFS unit. Well, anyway, how's the printer? Well, it's good, really good actually. I haven't seen layer lines this fine on my previous printer. It's incredible. Maybe it was the way I sliced things, but it was just smoother all the way around. The printer is also really fast, and I just love how silent it is when idle. I could just leave it turned on the whole day and I would just forget to turn it off. However, like all printers, I did start having adhesion issues, which finally incentivized me to buy isopropyl alcohol for cleaning the build plate, which I didn't have on my previous one. So when I tried multicolor printing, I was pleasantly surprised by how good it actually looks. But oh god, why did the slicer make the purge volume so high? I had to lower the purge volume, but I didn't try it since. To be honest, this was expected. It is a single nozzle multicolor printer. Also, since I mentioned the sound of printer, god is this thing loud. This is complete contrast to the printer. Anyway, a feature that I found to be the most appealing was the remote control and monitoring. I can finally leave my house without having to worry about how my printer is doing. I can just check and stop it if it fails. And here's where something sparked my interest. I found a setting for time lapses. There were three options, two of which I actually used. There was close, smooth, and traditional. I enabled smooth time lapse for the first time and fell in love. It's just mesmerizing to look. I did tried one of those hacks with those remote shutters and a camera, and I didn't have that much luck, but that's more on my end on how I set it up. And then I thought, what if I could connect a USB camera into the printer port and record time lapses with it? So I did exactly that. I plugged in a USB camera and guess what? It worked. I was actually so surprised to see it connected. And it will record time lapses and then it didn't. It was very picky which time lapse it will record with the USB camera and then which one would it record with the inbuilt camera. I thought it might be the camera that I was using. It was a cheap action camera that was very inconsistent on my PC as well. So then I bought two cameras, one after the other, one of which didn't work at all because for some reason the printer requires H.264 encoding built into the camera. And then I got another one that actually worked, and it looked better than my action camera on the replay. I printed one test and it worked. Then I printed another and it was very good. It worked. Am I on to a winner? And then it fumbled again and switched to the onboard camera. I truly don't know why it's so inconsistent. I tried sideloading firmware extensions. For some goddamn reason, you cannot use git or even like sudo commands in printer's firmware. You can only send files from your PC onto it. And even that didn't work. I was this close to loving this printer. However, I did have one more trick up my sleeve. I found something interesting in the Clipper Fluid interface. In the console, on every new layer, it prints out a capture zero log. I bet I could use that to do time lapses through my PC. And then I asked ChatGPT to quickly write a script that would do this, and my ChatGPT absolutely delivered. If anyone is interested, I could do a video tutorial on how to set this up. It also takes way better pictures because the printer, when it takes time lapses, it has its own compression due to bandwidth and storage and CPU limitations. So when those things are removed, you get a much better picture in the end, which leads me to the day. How do I feel about this printer? Well, I think the verdict would be that, hey, it's a good machine. I don't think anyone will be necessarily disappointed in it, but it does have some quirks that make it both better and worse than the competition. For me personally, I'm happy that I bought it, but I don't know how well it will stand up in the following year, as I've seen quite a few upcoming releases that seem to shift the market quite a bit. Overall, if you're willing to spare some time and be patient with it, just like for a car, this printer will treat it as well as you treat it, unless you have a shipping or a factory problem, in which case, good luck dealing with the customer support. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed it or found it useful, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And leave a comment if you think I missed something or want to add something yourself. I'll see you all on the next one when I'm bored again.